I'm about 2 miles into my hike right now. I'm hiking along the ridge line of Neighbor Mountain in Shenandoah National Park. The elevation here is about 2,600 feet. There's the trail. And if you look out that way, there's some mountains out there. I'm not sure which ones. I'll have to look them up when I get home based on compass bearings, but a little bit of a view of the mountains out there. Here's the trail again, and the reason I stopped here is if you look over here, up on this little hill, there's a nice little small camping area. I think this would be good for maybe one tent, and there's plenty of trees, so hammock hanging would be fine also. I'll walk up here, give you a little better look. Look around. Actually, if you look right there, you can see somebody built a small but still illegal campfire. And here's a little look the other way. So I'm going to save the coordinates of this one in my GPS. Nice little camping spot on Neighbor Mountain Trail. The ridge line on this mountain is very, very narrow. You're basically looking at it. The trail is, well, the exact center of the ridge line is in the center of the camera, and just off to the right there is the trail. So if you look at this, that's the actual ridge line, and there's the drop off going one way. There's the ridge line. There's a drop off going the other way, and it's a steep drop off both ways. So this is one of the narrower ridge lines I've hiked in this park. I'm 3.8 miles into my hike now, and this is my turning around point. This is the summit of Neighbor Mountain. The elevation here is 2725, and there's the trail that I came up here on, and that's the trail I'm going back down on. And if you continue this way, you will go through a whole bunch of switchbacks down a very steep section of the mountain, and you'll end up down a canyon with Jeremy Run. So, but a complete loop down to Jeremy Run and then up Jeremy Run and then back along Skyline Drive, that's about a 14-mile hike. So I'm just going to hike to here and back today and have a little shorter hike. So here we are. I'll do a 360 pan. There isn't anything to see up here because it's totally overgrown with trees and underbrush and stuff. I'd recommend taking a hike like this in the wintertime. After the leaves have fallen off the trees, you'd have some pretty good views of neighboring mountains from up here. Here's an example of trail that I hate to hike through. It's got real tall grass, and the problem with the tall grass is there's a little bit of a trail there in the middle, but there's no way to walk through there without brushing up against that tall grass. And there's lots of ticks in that stuff. So every time I walk through sections like this, when I get through it, I always have to stop and check myself for ticks. Alrighty, today's delicious trail meal is water, star-kissed, ready-to-eat tuna salad, a Nature Valley dark chocolate and nut trail bar, and Keebler cheese and peanut butter crackers. Yum! You know the old Boy Scout motto, be prepared. Smith & Wesson 38 Special Airweight, 5-shot. Nice. I'm back to the intersection with the Appalachian Trail. I'm still on Neighbor Mountain. I'm about 5.7 miles into my hike. The elevation here is about 2670. And when I came up here, I came up on that trail there. But I don't want to go back that way, I don't think, because that trail's got a lot of tall grass on it. And I ended up picking a bunch of ticks off of me coming up that way. I'm glad I went through there once though, just to see what the trail is like. But I think what I'm going to do from this post here, instead of going that way, I'm going to head up that way. See that tree's got the white blaze on it. That's white blazing in this park means Appalachian Trail. So I'm going to head southbound on the Appalachian Trail. And I'm pretty sure it comes out down around the parking lot at Beahms Gap, which is about 1/10 of a mile south of where I actually parked. But I'd rather walk 1/10 of a mile on Skyline Drive than through that tall grass again. So here we go along the AT, and I've never hiked this stretch of the AT, so maybe there's some overviews. We'll see. This is an interesting stretch of the Appalachian Trail here. We're still at about 2,600 feet elevation. I'm getting fairly close to Skyline Drive though, so this is going to have to drop down soon to get down to Skyline Drive. You're looking at the trail heading towards Skyline Drive, and from here I can hear the traffic going up and down Skyline Drive, so I know I'm getting close. But anyway, this area is a lot rockier and more open than a lot of the trail. I mean, up there are some pretty good sized rocks, and even further up on top of this hill here is Bird's Nest number 4. That's that 3-sided shelter that I took pictures of earlier in the hike. The AT used to go up over the top of the hill here and take you right past that shelter, but now it's been rerouted. The map I'm using was from 1994, which is 20 years ago, and it shows the AT going right over the top of the hill, but now we're down here going around the western side of the slope here. I gotta make sure I don't fall off this rock. I'm standing on a rock here that's kind of a pretty far drop down if I slip off of it. So anyway, here's a little more open area here, something different. Well, now here's something a little different on the trail. That's an old iron pipe, and going up the side of the mountain here, and there's a coupling right there. There's another piece of the pipe. And on it goes up the side of the mountain. So wonder what was in there. Could have been water, could be wires in it, who knows. Well, my old map from 1994 had a spring marked on it, and in Shenandoah Park they let you know where the springs are with those signposts with the yellow bands on them, like that one right there. And if you look over here, coming out of the side of the mountain right there is the spring water. There's a little bit of a pool there, but it's kind of muddy. I'd probably come down here a little ways. Down in here, maybe you can see that water flowing there. To put some rocks in there, you could get yourself a little clear pool of water and get some water. So it's not flowing real fast, but it's flowing, and it looks crystal clear to me. Next to the turnoff to that spring, I found this old abandoned road. This thing's a pretty wide road. And you can see a bank there, the bank over there, and that's heading uphill. And if I turn around this way, there it is, heading downhill. There's a bank, and there's a bank over there. So pretty good sized road here once upon a time. Alrighty, so here's the turnoff, the AT to Beahms Gap. We're going to the left, heading up this trail. It's supposed to be only 1/10 of a mile or so to Beahms Gap. So here we go. There's a baby down there.